Jeremy Corbyn's new political party in Britain was formed by what has motivated the people who formed it their entire life, hate. And in this case, it was a specific type of hate, a hate that is uh, the most popular type of hate today anywhere in the world, hatred of Jews. The anti-Semitic coalition of Hamas supporters is now trying to figure out certain things about their party. For example, a name. I don't think is your party is not the final name, right? It's a placeholder. But they're already putting stuff together, fundraising, have a conference planned or scheduled or something. But there's already infighting in this democratic, everybody's equal attempt at an organization. Ironic word there. Welcome to the Daily Objective. I'm Razi Ginsburg. My thoughts for the intro are not as well organized as they usually are, but still way better organized than Jeremy Corbyn's party. I'm joined by Daniel Kraus. Daniel, um, so the issue right now is there's a somewhat of a spat between Jeremy Corbyn and Zara Sultana. What's her last name? Whatever. She was elected as a Labour MP, was suspended by Labour, then left Labour as these people often do. Of course, Jeremy Corbyn himself was kicked out of Labour for being an anti-Semite. But yeah, so these people have a lot in common, but they also don't always see eye to eye, and they're each going their own way. Apparently, she has started some sort of fundraiser. The fundraiser wasn't approved by the others, and now she's claiming that they're sexist. Interesting, by the way, Daniel, before I go to you, I actually have to read the names of the people who signed. I don't know if we'll get to Jeremy Corbyn's letter on this. Well, I do want to read her letter, but Jeremy Corbyn's letter in response telling people not to give his co-chair of the party money was signed by how many is that? Five MPs. Jeremy Corbyn MP, Ayub Khan MP, Adnan Hussein MP, Iqbal Muhammad MP, and Shaukat Adam MP. Yeah, my Arabic accent might not be perfect, but I think that it tells you kind of, so it's amazing that anybody would think that a party run by Muslims would be sexist. And I'm not saying it is. It comes from, a pro-Palestinian, so I don't know how we can take her word for it. But yeah, uh, always fun to watch the left eating itself, especially when it's the full-on, unapologetically anti-Semitic, unapologetically Marxist left. Daniel.
Yeah, I mean, just first of all, this episode is going to be kind of a debate. I'm here representing the Jeremy Corbyn side, and Razi, of course, is representing the Islamist side. For people on the podcast, I'm wearing a red shirt, and Razi is brown. Uh, all right, let's actually get to it.
When you
So,
laugh at your own joke, it ruins it. But anyway,
it's
continue.
funny. Um, that's why I was laughing the whole intro because I came up with it. But yeah, the the People's Front of Judea is collapsing, as many people have already made this joke. So yeah, basically the idea is Zara Sultana, I always forget her name, basically send out an email for people to sign up for a membership of the party, which was 55 pounds a month. And basically, right after the email was sent out, or very soon afterwards, another email was sent out saying, "Ignore that. That wasn't us. It wasn't approved." So Zara Sultana is trying to defend herself by saying, and she's defending many of the actions she's taking by saying, "Well, this was on the roadmap. We were supposed to do so. So what is the problem with actually doing so?" With the sort of like the leadership of the your party saying, well, we didn't agree to it. So again, you have infighting before even name is chosen. The name is supposed to be chosen at the conference that they are planning. With Earlier you said that your party might not be the name. Your party is actually the name Jeremy Corbyn is supporting. Apparently, the one reason it's not changing is because he wants it to stay that, while Zara wants it to go to something like the left, or which more, you couldn't find more appropriate name. Uh, yeah, I mean, we could go to many things, but that's the general idea. They're basically beating each other up over sort of like the leadership structure. Since the one thing that Zara Sultana also brought up is, call it the sexist boys club, because apparently besides her, no other woman actually have voting rights in the what they call the working group, basically the people who actually make decisions. And she said, again, we are kind of going by what she says. Apparently, her and Corbyn agreed that it would be a 50-50 sort of like board of women and men.
Yeah. Yeah, these people always pride themselves on being anti-merit and judging people by anything other than the choices and actions that they take. You said you can't think of a better name than the left. I can. So these people are all, self-identify as Marxists. This isn't me, name calling them by calling them Marxists. Now, Karl Marx, although he was from a Jewish background, was notoriously anti-Semitic. If you want proof, look up Karl Marx's essay on the Jewish question. The title kind of indicates where it goes, but wow, the content is next level stuff. I don't typically recommend, actually, I do recommend reading Karl Marx in general, but that's a good place to start. But if you continue on to the Communist Manifesto, you'll see that while he called for workers of the world to unite at the very end of it, uh, in the middle of the book, he does speak about immigration and how it should stop, like be brought to zero. He was anti-immigration. These Marxists are not anti-immigration. They're pro-immigration. They're international socialists, as they're called. Um, as they tend to call themselves. So, how about the International Socialist Workers' Party of Britain? I mean, I'd say, it shouldn't be necessarily Britain, but yeah, I think that's a perfect name for these people. They are international socialists. They have much in common with other parties of similar names, and I think that would be perfect for them. Yeah, I think I had another point, but I'll go to you, and then I'll either make that point or go to Zara Sultana's letter from yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, again, this sort of fracturing is very common among the left. I really want to look into the reasoning why that is, because generally, even if you look at history or if you look at sort of modern age, the right is always seems to be more united, much more easier to simply pick one person and sort of go with him, whoever it is. I mean, think of like how quickly Republicans fell in line with Trump after he won the presidency, while on the left you still have many factions sort of fighting. Similarly, here, I mean, even in Britain right now, like you already kind of have like the left party, like the Greens, which of course, as all third parties in the UK, don't do necessarily well. But now is the best time to capitalize on the weakness of both the Labour and Conservatives. I've seen the recent poll. Apparently, even Liberal Democrats are catching up to both the Labour and Conservatives, which I wouldn't imagine that I would ever see, especially so soon. So, yeah, I mean, generally, this is great to see. As much as not a big fan of reform, I do not want this party, for that matter, to go stronger, especially if they really do get stronger, and we'll have to see where it goes, then it might be like really big problems for Britain. I mean, I'm wondering, like I think even now, right now, if there was an election, it would be a hung parliament because even a reform wouldn't get enough. So that will be interesting to like what the coalitions even would be looking like reform and conservatives even don't sound that likely. So uh, it's going to the next election is definitely going to be interesting. I'm really hoping maybe Labour will be failing even more, and hopefully conservatives will recover or something. But Yeah, other than
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, look, on both sides of the political aisle, if you can say that there are somehow two sides in Britain, the vote is going to be split. And the question is how much it's going to be split. You made the point about how, on the right, people rally around the leader. That's also done very badly. Yeah, the Republicans in the US a decade ago rallied around Trump and dropped any pretense that they had any principles whatsoever and the what little lip service they gave to support of free markets is gone. You don't hear Republicans talking about free markets anymore. You also don't really hear them talk about free speech. They talked about it when the Democrats were in power and violating the First Amendment, and they're now cheering the violations of the First Amendment when it's done to their political opponents. So that's Republicans for you. And in this country, the rallying around Nigel Farage again, populists who aren't really saying much, and when they say much, Trump and Farage, they say stuff that is left wing. They say stuff that is, actually, if you were going to make a left-right distinction, belongs in the left. Anyway, thank you, Roland, for the super chat. Roland asks, a bisexual, trans, non-binary friend of mine is interested in joining the party. Do you think he would feel at home in it?
Wait. How is she bisexual and non-binary? That seems a bit catchy.
There's a lot to unpack there, Roland. Yeah, we might have to do a whole episode on it. I'd say we'd invite somebody from that party, but we're not going to do that.
Wait, and
But
also
we are. But
well, I said she, I think. What? Yeah, there's a lot of wrong because why would you refer to them as she or he if they're non-binary? And also, what does it mean to be a trans non-binary? Since what?
Yeah. So I think the conclusion is, Roland, your comment or question is sexist, transphobic, homophobic, but it does come with a super chat, so we appreciate it. All right, let's go to this. Yeah, we are going to read the words of Zara Sultana, uh, member of parliament for Coventry South. In case anybody is planning a weekend getaway there, bear in mind that's how people vote there. So here's the statement. I want to clarify the situation regarding the membership system for your party. Neither of this week's emails had the dual authorization of both myself and Jeremy, which was the agreement made at the start of this process. After being sidelined by the MPs named in today's statement and effectively frozen out of the official accounts, I took the step of launching a membership portal so that supporters could continue to engage and organize. This was in line with the roadmap set out to members on Monday and is a safe, secure, legitimate portal for the party. Everyone who supports us should sign up now. Okay, the statement she's referring to is a statement by Jeremy Corbyn and those other MPs that I read, whose names I read earlier, and I'm not going to try to pronounce again. Um, and yeah, this is about her starting a fundraiser for the party without talking to the others in the party about it, and now she's explaining it and still calling on people to. So this is the whole thing with trying out socialism. When socialists say, "Oh, it's never been tried," I agree with them. It's never been tried fully because it can't be tried fully because it's not a practicable, philosophy. It can be tried to a great extent, and you can see the results of that in places like the Soviet Union in its early days, like North Korea, and there's the more extreme cases which are you know, closer to actual socialism. This party looks like it is going in that direction. You can't, you can't make a decision without some sort of consensus. It's like the example of the leadership, the right following whichever leader is charismatic enough and rallies enough people around them. On the left, it's the opposite. Nobody can lead. Nobody can, stand out because they're against the individual, as we're going to see later on if we continue reading this letter.
Okay, I actually wanted to bring up that line, but I can wait with it. I mean, yeah, you oftentimes see this weird thing. Every now and then I check out random country, check out their parliament, how the politics looks like. And whenever there is like a left party, they always have like a collective leadership. I think even in France, the left party has like the collective leadership. You oftentimes see it. And yeah, like with parties, it's usually very hard to like make any decisions if yeah, you have some sort of board and you don't have like one person with singular vision. I mean, this party still doesn't really have like a vision. I think that's still supposed to be, it's just you know what kind of people are there and you know what to expect. But yeah, Zara Sultana is basically trying to have a like has a problem with the structure of the leadership. But the fact is that there is like that was the agreement that it is two of them, and she is being sidelined because I mean, what do you expect? Like it's Jeremy Corbyn and a bunch of I mean, I don't know personally the other members of parliament who are there, but yeah, most likely a bunch of Islamists or people who want to move Britain in that sort of direction. Not like the left direction is any better. Britain already experienced a kind of socialism, and that gave rise to Margaret Thatcher. So, well, maybe. Oh, okay, I do not want that to happen. I don't think Britain deserves to go through another nationalizing, renationalizing, denationalizing of a bunch of industries over and over just for some conservative to jump in and try to save the country from the ruins, especially in the upcoming years.
I mean, I always give Margaret Thatcher as proof that the practical case for capitalism doesn't work, or at least is not enough. And you need to make an actual philosophical case. This country was done. And then Margaret Thatcher came along and brought it back to life. And it took less than 3 decades later before this Marxist, Jeremy Corbyn, was about to get elected. And came very, very close to being elected. So yeah, remember that when you think you can convince people with numbers that that how government should be run. Um, One of our regular trolls in the chat, people are going to be upset with me for reading this, but I like it in the trolly sense, so I'm going to do it. They say Jews are a joke, man. Unbelievable. Can't believe I fell for their Jewing for so long. Oh, our IQ is just so high. You're just so jealous of us. We should control your country, otherwise you're anti-Semitic. I don't. Whoever the Jews were speaking to this person, well done for saying saying all those stuff. But uh, you know, you troll are here 90 minutes every day. Uh, do you really think you're not being controlled by us right now? Anyway. Let's go back to Zara Sultana, who I'm sure is always also concerned about Jews controlling everything. And this is the letter continued. My sole motivation has been to safeguard the grassroots involvement that is essential to building this party. Unfortunately, I've been subjected to what one can only describe as a sexist boys' club. I have been treated appallingly and excluded completely. They have refused to allow any other women with voting rights on the working group blocking the gender balanced committee that both Jeremy and I signed up to. Okay, I do want to point out that this started with 6 MPs, right? One of whom is a woman. This is a problem generally in life when you try to prioritize things like gender and race over, actual merit. Now, there is no merit to any of these people, regardless of their gender or race, but they are people who want to prioritize that. Now, what do you do? Do you say to some of these members, "Hey, why don't you stay out of the party until we get more women?" Or like how? Anyway, I'm trying to be logical with these people. Daniel, do you have an explanation of maybe how they can resolve their conflict with reality?
I mean, whenever there is this like quotas for women, I mean, from what I looked into it, you could make some like case for it if there is like an active discrimination towards women that basically if you do have some sort of quotas, it can like benefit. But again, like what does it mean when it comes to like decision making or specifically like parties leadership role, and even then like even when there's one moment she's already being like denied access, so again like because you're trying to like fit together like party that will be absolute like I don't think like generally I don't think even Jeremy Corbyn is like a progressive, right? He's not necessarily this kind of like champion of women's rights. He's like a hardline communist. Generally those people do not have the greatest view of women anyway.
Yeah, I mean, nobody who calls himself a progressive deserves to use that word to describe their ideology because one of their core tenets of their ideology is that they oppose progress. Then again, these are also the people who claim genocide when Jews do not, willingly die when people want to murder them. So. Uh, Thank you, Jacob, for the super chat. Jacob says Trump's aversion to Palestinianism alone is enough. You mean enough to support him? Look, I agree in the sense that people, when you go to vote, if you're concerned about Palestinianism as much as you should be, it would make sense. It's understandable why people would vote for him over a Kamala Harris. He is president now. You judge him as president on what he does. You don't say, "Oh, what would Kamala do?" But I can tell you what Kamala would do. She would do what Trump is doing, but to the people to the people on the right. She would do exactly the same and maybe not as bad. So, yeah, let's not support a person just because it's arguable that their opponent in the election was worse. Let's continue with the letter. It is also important to be transparent about why this situation has arisen. I do not believe members will accept Carrie Murphy and her associates having sole financial control of members' money and sole constitutional control over our conference. This undermines the democratic principles we agreed to uphold. Now, I have to say, I'm not interested enough to actually look up this person and look up the actual conflict. But from what I can understand from that, it's again the idea that anybody would control anything. Somebody knows finance, they'll control the finances. Somebody knows, I don't know, any idea of any person being in charge of something rather than everybody voting on everything is goes against this party's principles, which makes sense. That's the whole ideology. I remember in the kibbutzim in Israel, people would those kibbutzim existed, uh, from funding from taxpayers in the cities who actually created stuff. But they would play it working. So, you would work for a little bit you would milk the cows one week and you would work at the factory another week and so on. And yeah, that works great if somebody else is paying. Uh, but it doesn't really work when you're trying to run something to say, nobody actually can own their project and their area.
Yeah, and again, this is like escaping the responsibility. Your whole job as a representative politician is to do your work, not to rely on somebody else to like decide based on votes. Like one of the things you have to do as a politician is one manage to explain like complex sort of legal structures to your people and to represent them, not to like what set up a party. I mean I don't know how exactly they want to work, but if they want like every member to have like a vote on like what major policies of the party, I mean again, set up a party, set up a platform, decide what it's gonna do, and then run on that platform and see how many votes you get. This kind of like let everybody like can we join in? Can we a bunch of us join in and maybe outvote them and make your party our party?
Good idea. I wouldn't give these people money, so I'm gonna
Well,
not.
it would be our money then, because we would take over.
Well, let's see. But I'm gonna skip a bit of this letter because it's long and we're running out of time. But I will get to that paragraph that really says it all.
Oh yeah,
I
I
regret.
guess before you go, I'll just jump in because again, it's not your party, right? It's not party for conservatives. It's not party for capitalists. It's not party for even what do you have Anglicans? Well, I don't know even how many religious people are in the UK. It's a socialist party with Islamist characteristics, or the other way around. That's the party. So like trying to argue, everybody's welcome. People should join in, and we'll vote on what it is from the start. Like if you like Jeremy Corbyn is not gonna represent like capitalists.
Thank you, Avi, for the super chat. Avi says, "Thanks, guys. Thank you. We will represent capitalists. We are capitalists in ideology, and yeah, we which is why we have the solution to these people's problems. But I don't think they'll embrace them. And yeah, I do wonder, Daniel, if somebody took you up on that idea and decided to join that party just to take it over. Are they democratic in the way that, Trump is pro free speech, as in you can say whatever you want as long as you're praising me? Or yeah, what would they do if a bunch of pro-Israel people joined their party? That would be again, something very interesting to see. I'm not going to be a part of it. So this is the paragraph, a few paragraphs down. I regret that today's statement has misrepresented the situation. My actions have been consistent with our shared commitment to build an open, democratic, and member-led organization. I will continue to fight for a process where members' money, data, and voices are safeguarded, not centralized under the control of one individual. I'm sure her fingers were trembling when she typed the I word. Thank you, Bonnie, for the super chat. Daniel.
Yeah, I mean that was one of the lines that stood up to me. Like it is like a true like disdain for the individual. Uh, I mean, again, I have no like yeah, do this like democratic kind of party and see how it works you. Like with every business that they want to turn into a cooperative, like with pretty much anything they want to do in this way, it doesn't work. You need some ideas, you need some vision, and you have a vision for that party. Like you know what you want to do with it. Like trying to say that it's going to be democratic is ridiculous from the start. In every single social, whenever socialists took over, the first thing they did is kill other socialists. So they don't have a competition in socialism.
Yeah, look, we're going to keep watching this just out of pleasure, just seeing this again. This is all new. They formed it earlier, and it was an independent alliance, and now that it's a party, it is shit is hitting the fan pretty much on day one. So yeah, we're gonna keep watching to see what's going on. But yeah, as an organization, that is not how you know organizations work. If you want to know how organizations work and work really well, you should come to the Irreplaceable Spark conference. You will see leaders who have created companies that are leaders. Those leaders are not just leaders of their companies. Their companies are leaders in their field. They all are and were from the get-go, in most cases, inspired by Ayn Rand's philosophy of objectivism, and they are now changing the world in very, very real ways and making it, unlike these people that we spent the last 30 minutes talking about, making the world a better place. So make sure you sign up. The Irreplaceable Spark Conference takes place October 25th, 26th in Irvine, California, in Orange County. It is on a weekend, and Daniel is unsure. Yes, it's Irvine. It's within Orange County. Uh, Learn something new every day. He has been there, but he doesn't remember. I think you have been there, but anyway, Daniel will be there. I will be there, and many, many people, many speakers, including some from this channel, will be there. We'll see you there, and we'll see you on the reality show in a couple of minutes, where we will be unfortunately talking about how Candace Owens has won the debate. The reality show starts in a couple of minutes. Thanks, Daniel, and thanks everybody for watching.